Evolve with Monette. We are on location. For those of you guys that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and we are on location right now, having some early morning thoughts. Early morning for me because I'm up in the middle of the night. You guys know my life by now, so it's a early morning, and a couple of really interesting things have happened. Paranormally, I pay attention. Now, I want to say something. I have taught about banishing energy and taught about salt and all the rest of that stuff. And I have videos up here and I'm happy to teach about it more extensively. But when we get rid of a person out of our life, it is very possible that the energy cords are connected still, and that people are still watching us and or thinking about us. Let's say they're not even watching, right? Let's say they truly have moved on, they're in their own relationship, but the emotional cord is connected. Now, this is biblically founded, as most things are for me, and the Bible talks about our etheric cords, our connections, our golden cords, when you have a soul tie specifically to somebody. Have you ever had sex with somebody, or if anybody's ever shared a deep part of your life intimately, you will form a soul tie with them. And so that's something that we do a lot of banishing. We do cord cutting. Guys, forgive if you hear noise in the background that you normally wouldn't. Everybody's getting ready for their days and everybody's delighted and happy, and golf carts are going to be rented and all types of fun stuff we have planned today. I am out of town and celebrating with my bestie and my bestie's daughter and her bestie. So it's like a besties weekend. It's really fun. Anyway, so when you are banishing exes out of your life, whether it's ex besties or ex boyfriends or girlfriends, it's really important to understand that one cut may not do. Now, in the initial banishment of one of the very toxic people in my life from several years ago, I have lots of videos up here. You guys go check them out as I talk about it in various forms and ways and teach lessons that I extracted from it. Because that's what we do, empaths. We extract information, we transmute energy. And what I did was in the initial stages, I even have a video up here about salt, and I talk about it. I reached out to her and I said, listen, I need you to get the salt out too. I need you to partake in banishing yourself from me. Now, she may have thought that it was me either being controlling, or she may have thought that I was being funny, or that it was like a joke. I was trying to protect her, believe it or not, even though she was the one that was egregious and wrong and had done the infraction to me and had done a million things. I mean, who cares anymore? But trust me, if you want to hear it, it's all there in my rawest form and passion, and also with full descriptions and teaching lessons as I transmuted the energy. But she was not right. Let's just say that to keep it simple. But I protected her by saying, get out the salt. And like, I don't know what she thought about it. And I don't know if she did it. Because when I get out the salt on somebody, I specifically am meaning I want nothing to do with you again. You're dead to me. And she knows it because I walked her through a divorce previously in her life where I had her utilize that specific technique and walked her through it. And her then wife left within a matter of 24 to 48 hours. It was uncanny. And she was lingering and she wouldn't go. So this method is very powerful. And I will teach another video about it updated or I'm back on screen. That's coming very soon here for you guys too. But what I will tell you is that it is important to banish energy when they try to come back. And you'll say, well, Monette, how do you know if they're coming back? If I'm not in contact with an ex by all rights, I have no idea that they're coming back. I have no idea that they're paying attention to my life. No, it's true. You have no idea about that unless you are you, Divine Feminine and Empath. We are intuitive. And let me tell you what's been happening here. I will tell you that I've moved on. Life is good. I've dealt with the pain as I should. I wept. I cried. I laughed. I went through all the stages of grief as I mourned an illusory relationship, a person who essentially had multiple lives, and I don't even know who they are. Like, it's funny when I think about it. I was like, wow, I was really in a Lifetime movie. And the dramatic side of me, the Leo side, loves a bit of panache and drama. Usually watching other people's, not so much creating it my own. But my God, just being adjacent to that person was high drama because they were a whole. You hear the laughter in the background? It was laughable. They're not listening to what I'm saying, but I think everything is part of any message reading or video that I do. It was laughable. And also they're all gonna laugh at you. I'm hearing Carrie, that movie, because there was a part in my life with my XD where they were laughing at me and they really thought they had the upper hand, and she was delighted and really quite chuffed with herself. So it was interesting. So anyway, all the banishment and all that stuff happened. I walked through a lot of things. I won't share everything that I do here. If I ever work with you one on one, I'm happy to disclose some of the other things that are done. Not everything is for public consumption because you are protecting yourself. There are some basic things that I will say that I can teach, and I'm happy to. They're all gonna laugh at you. I don't know why I keep hearing that. I think maybe what's happened is that there's a reversal for people that you've banished out of your life, where people are laughing at them, and it doesn't feel right to them because they're used to having the upper hand. There's a Sun and Saturn conjunction that happened on January 15th, and I knew for a fact that it was going to bring balance and karma to that person. I didn't want to think about that person, but my angels always let me know. They said, "You waited, you were patient, you didn't take vengeance in your own hands, you didn't do anything to her. Trust me, it's God's plan." Literally, they said to me, "The sins of the father shall be visited upon the child. The sins of the mother or the father shall be visited upon the child." And I know that sounds cryptic and wild, right? You're like, "Monette, whoa, listen, I loved her kid more than ever loved her. I loved her kid at first sight. I loved her kid." But what I will tell you is they told me something wasn't right. They said a lot of things are off, and they happened. They actually gave me a date, and it was crazy, and they dated it back into December. It was an incredible download, and I was like, wow. And then they validated it. It was insane. At the end, but here's the thing: I have had protection, so I protected myself, right? And I also have love in my life again, and I have care in my life, and I have good friends and all that stuff. And the person who is been sent as almost like an earth angel and a bodyguard for me, which is so nice to have, which is something I know you will have too, my sweet empaths and divine feminines. Once you really release somebody, you will know that you've really released them because new energy will come in that will fill in the space with grace and with ease. And so I have new care and energy and happiness in my life, but someone is protecting me. It's crazy to have that. And let me explain how. Yes, it's time to banish your ex again. And I actually got that recommendation this morning from my bestie. But let me tell you why I know this for a fact and factually. So, spiders, Black Widow spider specifically, was a totem of how my bestie manifested in my life. Um, Period. Okay, not my bestie currently, but oh my God, she's like Glenda the Good Witch. My bestie currently, but my bestie, XD, the person that betrayed me, all the things. She was associated with Black Widow. I named her that actually when we were dating 20 plus years ago because there was always something creepy about her energy. There was always something off that I couldn't really put my finger on, and she seemed to pull people in to her spell. I was picking up on sociopathy and covert narcissism, just to give you guys a heads up. So anyway, that was what I called her, and I thought it was like cute and sexy, and I was like, "You're like a Black Widow," and hilarious how that has played out. Let's talk about it. So fast forward to us separating, and me being like, "I don't want to be anywhere near you. I can't stand you. I hate you," which is real emotions that I felt. And what happened was, I actually got bit on the head not long after I sent her that message and said, "You need to salt yourself out of my life. I'm going to salt you." Normally, you don't advertise to the person you're doing it, it's just something that you do. But because it was essentially me serving her divorce papers, if you can follow along, I was so frustrated and fed up with her energy and so pissed off at all the games she had been playing, which, by the way, I knew everything that she was doing because of the work that I do. It's a hazard of my job. I often say that to people where I do see into things. And even all the things she was doing, I couldn't see fully because my angels were protecting me. There they're all going to laugh at you. That's why, because my angels didn't want my feelings to be hurt about how much she had betrayed me and how much she had lied on me and how much she had done smear campaigns. Like, they protected me from some of it, and they didn't let me know till after I'd really separated my energy from it exactly how deep it was and how twisted and how diabolical and how purposely cruel she was to me when I literally was an earth angel sent in her life. Message, can some of you guys relate to being there to help someone and they're literally like stomping you in the face? So I felt away, right? Oh, anytime you hear that buzz on my phone during one of these readings, it is an audible confirmation. Like I said, everything is part of my communication. Anyway, so that is what happened. And she manifested as a black widow spider in real life. I have a video up here where I talk about it. Shiva, Shaki, and spider bites. And I show you, I'm not wearing makeup. I was actually bit in my sleep by a black widow spider, confirmed by my doctor. And it had created all these pustules, and it was disgusting. And it was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me because I have severe and deep arachnophobia. Okay. And so it's like my angels sent me on this like spiritual vision quest. It was a freaking nightmare. I did not wish it. And I think the only way that they could have had it happen is that I was asleep and didn't realize it was happening. Otherwise, I would have lost my shit. I would have been apoplectic. I would have been Claire Danes in Broke Down Palace when the roach crawls in her ear and she fucking, her girlfriend like loses it. I would have lost my shit. So it happened. And then I had to just deal with it. I had to deal with the pain, thinking, is this a pimple? And then it grows and grows. So I really highly recommend you go watch that video. It's called Shiva, Shakti, and Spider Bites. And it was my angels walking me through transcendence. You hear the buzz? They want you to go watch it. My angels walking me through transcendence and understanding exactly why I manifested that moment in my life. But what they showed me was I needed to protect myself right. Her energy was highly pervasive. At that time, I believe she was still watching my videos regularly. Also, her side racist side piece was also watching my videos regularly and stalking me as she had been the whole time. And my XD didn't protect me at all. Now that's where we come to today. So that happened, and I got the spiritual message out of it, and I taught about it, and I was like, angels, can this be it? Because I had had severe arachnophobia. I said, can I make peace with spiders and understand that as a spiritual practitioner, the spiders have a positive side? So they took me on a whole journey. I had to learn about it. I had to teach about it, y'all. When I tell you I take my job seriously, I take my job seriously. So that happened, and I was able to walk through it and deal with it. Go watch the video. Fast forward, she became known as a spider. So anytime anybody would reference her, the two close friends in my life that would reference her, one that actually picked me up from her house and was like, "You're never going back," and predicted it before she even dropped me off. She was like, "This bitch is wild and she's trying to attack you." And she pulled me around the side of the Escalade. If I didn't tell you guys, if you didn't see that video, I had a friend that dropped me off and was like, "Get back in the truck. This girl is this." She like rattled off every single thing that I had closed my eyes to, that I had purposely been blind to, as we often will be when we love somebody. And she was like, "Please come home with me right now. Don't even go to her house. Don't even step foot in her house." She begged me. And anyway, so she calls her a Black Widow. And I knew she was a Black Widow because I call her that and all the things, right? Well, then she manifests in my life. She quite literally bites me on the forehead. Now, does my ex come to my house and bite me on the forehead? No. Please understand symbology here and mysticism and spirituality. This is all metaphorical, but it did happen. In actuality, I had a real spider bite validated by a doctor. So what I will tell you, and he said it's so lucky, he said that it didn't go into a place where there was more soft tissue, that your skull was right behind it. He said you may lose some of your skin, and my skin did cave in. And he said, but you will not lose parts of your flesh in a deep way, because a spider bite, depending on how it happens, can decay your flesh. You guys get it? She was an at literally decay in my life, and it manifested. So fast forward. Okay. So I now symbolize her as a spider, a black widow spider, something that is deadly, something that mates every once in a while, and when it does mate, it like kills everything in its wake and brings with it disease and pestilence and death. Like, that's how I thought of my ex, so that my angels could keep my brain straight. They were like, she's not cute and cuddly. There will be no makeups. You know how someone, as some exes, you're like, we're gonna do the cuddle out, which is like a term that I coined with a friend many years ago, particularly for lesbians, where it takes many, many breakups before it really ends. The cuddle out, like, we're back again in the cuddle out. And they were like, you will have no cuddle out with this one. This one is dangerous AF. Fine. So the two women that are dearest in my life, Black Widow. We don't say her name. We just say her that she's the Black Widow. Well, we stopped talking about the Black Widow a while ago as I went through all the 5 stages of grief and I had done all the banishment and all the release. But lately, oh, lately, has she crept back in? My angel said there is turmoil going on in her life, as in the last couple of months. Something is wrong with her deeply, and she is either realizing the gravity of the fucking havoc she wreaked on your life, or realizing, oh, you hear the buzzes? You guys hear how my angels are like literally chiming in today? She realizes, and she's having epiphanies, and her karma setting in, and she feels abandoned, and something's wrong with her children or child specifically, which made me want to engage. And they said, oh, nay, nay. Meaning, because there is no one that I wouldn't want to engage with more than her child. At the beginning of December, I had the strongest pang to reach out to him and to send him money and to connect with him. Not to say, like, kumbaya, my love, let's talk again, but he was on my heart so heavy. And they later unfolded and showed me exactly why. And in that moment, I did what anybody should do because I had no desire to reconnect with her whatsoever. But see, a kid can pull us back in. Message, maybe someone here is dealing with wanting to love on some kid from some past relationship, and your angels are purposely keeping you set apart. I call my bestie almost like a AA, and I hadn't called her at all in any way about that situation. Meaning, I haven't white knuckled it since probably the first month after I separated. So this is now almost 2 years after she's not come across my mind. I haven't thought about her. I haven't given a fuck if she's fine. I'm just gonna be honest with you. When I cut someone off, it takes me a long time. Hashtag Leo fixed energy. Hashtag Moon and Taurus fixed energy. But when I cut them off, it is forever. I will never look back. That's just my way because of my Leo pride, too. My pride must stay intact, and I am human as well. And the way that she betrayed me is like none other in my life. I have been in cults that have treated me more right than the way that she behaved. I am disgusted at her duplicity. So, anyway, I never would cave. But I reached out to my bestie. And I was like, girl, I was visiting with my niece, and she has a beautiful condo on the beach. You guys have seen me film from there, and I was like, oh, Bestie, I am so worried about my Mowgli. That's what the nickname for my kid, my kid in my soul, my spirit kid. And I said, I am so worried about my Mowgli, and I just want to like send him money and whatever, whatever, whatever. And she was like, no, don't do it. He needs you right now. He's calling you energetically because I taught him how to call me energetically, and I connected with him and always let him know spirituality is real, no matter what you think. And they said, he's in a dark time right now. He's about to enter a spiraling out dark time. So I started doing extra prayers for him and caring for him. I didn't give a damn if she was fine or not. I've never felt the need to pray for her because I didn't care. But for him, I did. So fine. Then it fast forwards, and I realize exactly why as everything unfolds. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have so regretted sending him money because he came up against some real demons that were sent from his parents. Whether he realizes it or not, I knew what he was getting into and what was going on. In any case, what has been happening is my bestie kind of held it back. I'm seeing in my mind's eye vision from Lord of the Rings, thou shalt not pass, where Gandalf is like holding back evil. My bestie has been sent into my life to do what maybe I wouldn't have done or could do. And she was able to see through my emotions because I was like quivering emotions for that kid. I knew he was going to need something. I didn't think it was necessarily that he needed me. I think he needed sanity and stability, and that's nothing that I ever thought his mother could be. So, and also I knew that what was going to happen to him, because I was getting premonitions about it, was a direct correlation to her toxicity and to bad behavior in her life as well that had caught up with him. Maybe she was living karma free. Maybe she got away with whatever she did to me, but nothing ever goes unnoticed. And I thought, not my Mowgli, right? Well, my best friend was Gandalf, thou shalt not pass. It was beautiful. Well, as I've been up here, we're not at her home right now. We were traveling, and we rented a beautiful beach house and all that stuff. And so, as I was up at her home, though, I was like, I'm gonna put in a load of laundry before we get going. Stay with me, guys. There's a point. I promise you. And I texted her, and I was like, because we're both working, right, in the morning. She's working, and I'm working. And so I was like, I'm going to do that. But I, still bestie, still boundaries. I was not just going to like pop into her laundry room without her letting me know I was going there. She was like, oh yeah, I got to go switch over some stuff. So no worries. I'll do that. And then the washer will be free. Well, I didn't think a single thing about it. Not at all. I went down, I started my laundry, all was well. Well, let's talk about what happened last night. So we go out to dinner at this amazing place, by the way. This a freaking amazing place. That was a French restaurant, which we love. We've been to Paris, so that's a big deal for us. And her daughter actually picked it out, and we had escargot, and I had duck with a cherry demi glace. I'm getting sidetracked. We had this table, the Caesar salad table side. You see, my angels love the food too. We had the Caesar salad table side. She and I anyway, and then the girls all had French onion soup. I skipped on that. But the point is that we had a beautiful, beautiful, very high class meal with brilliant service. It was excellent. And I'm just enjoying the night. And by the end of it, even the waiter is like, I want to be y'all's besties because we were all saying besties, besties. It was like a besties weekend. And, just being super sappy and happy that we were getting to spend time with some of our favorite people. And at this point, my bestie feels like family. There are so many beautiful things that have happened over the many years that we've been together where I've really integrated into her family in a very healthy way. And it was very organic message. Stop forcing relationships that aren't it. And we did a lot of that with our exes. Can you remember? I do. So now I actually have exactly what I always wanted, but it's true. So by the end of it, the waiter's like, I want to be y'all's besties. Y'all are best besties. And we were all wearing matching shoes. Let me explain what that means. My daughter, wow, my bestie's daughter, and her bestie have bought each other heels. They're heels kind of girls. Me and my bestie are yellow box girls. My bestie loves yellow box, and she got me the most incredible. She always gets me the best yellow box stuff, but she got me like these sparkling yellow box slippers, and I never told her that I like yellow box or anything like that. She just did it. It was just when someone's really right in your life, they just do it. And so she got me like the best, like sparkliest, most glammy, shoes. And she also wears them, but in the high heel version, right? So it's so funny. We were just like having our best little life. Well, the end of the dinner comes, and I'm just like happy and feeling warm. We've all had a few cocktails. It's the bestie happy hour. And then a song comes on. This is No Ordinary Love, which was quote unquote my song, our song with me and my ex. So she's creeping back in. And I thought, I thought right at this moment, I'm feeling away because I'm a little buzzy, a little warm. You know that feeling after you've had a few. And I'm like, oh, here we go, not you. And I was pissed because the whole time we're in this classy place, they were playing like jazz that had no words. It was very nondescript. It was lovely. And then here comes the Sade energy. Now, here's the significance, guys. I tell no lies. A year ago, I made a video called This Is No Ordinary Love, or something about ordinary love and examining the toxic patterns of that. I'll see if I can find it and actually type it into the description. I actually sent it to my bestie this morning because she noted the song. She's like, I love this. And I was like, yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a trigger for me, but not in a bad way now because I cleaned up the energy. In that reading I did a year ago, my angels had me say, this was a toxic pattern that you were reliving with your ex. This is no ordinary love. I keep trying for you. I keep fighting for you. And while we had made love to it or done whatever when we were younger in our 20s before our relationship evolved into friendship, I thought it was so powerful. Who doesn't love Sade? But my angels showed it to me a different way a year and a half ago, and they were like, this is toxic AF. And this is how come you ended up in the situation with your ex in the way that you did, because you thought this was something to be romanticized, and it wasn't. It was dumb shit that you did as a kid. It's something that Sade, with her Capricorn energy, sang. And because she's so solid, you thought you should emulate it. And a lot of us did. So go watch that video. If I can find it, I'll put the right name in the description box so that you can find it easily. I'm wearing a purple shirt in it with little hearts on it. But I love that shirt. I gotta wear that shirt again. Maybe the next time I'm on camera, I'll have that on or something else of it. But what I'm saying to you is that that's how your ex can creep in. So I know it's a meandering story and only my diehards are listening still, but what I will tell you is it can be through music and it can be through animal totems, it could be through songs, a smell, a message. Now, I'm not thinking of her. She's thinking of me. I don't give up. But what I'm telling you, I'm living my best bestie weekend. I'm enjoying myself. Everything is easy. I feel absolutely loved and protected. Let's talk about my Gandalf, thou shalt not pass. Last night, as I'm climbing out of the truck, I see a something on the floor, and for whatever reason, I was a little bit triggered, and I was like, "Is that a bug?" Because it looked like one of those bugs that camouflages, and I kicked it, and I don't know why I did that. That was very weird of me, but I did it, and I just kept walking away. Well, my bestie was behind me, and she said, "It's very interesting. A spider crawled out when you kicked it." And then she texted me this morning and she said, I didn't tell you this, but when I went to go switch over the laundry, there was a spider in the laundry basket. And she's like, I dealt with it. I said it for you. My bestie's an animal lover. She said, I dealt with it. I don't know what she did exactly with it, but she was like, I dealt with it. She was like, it might be time to banish her energy again. Thou shall not pass. I know that I did the work that I needed to do, and it was meant to last because I'm not seeing these things presently, meaning there is no spider bite on my head. I did not see the spider that crawled out of the leaf. It happened after I walked away, but my bestie is now standing in the gap for me energetically, and I don't even know if she really understands she's protecting me. And she's not letting anything get to me. She always told me, like, I'm going to be your bodyguard. I'm going to protect you from all the Ricky Bobbies of the world. That's another nickname we gave to the ex Ricky Bobby, but not Ricky Bobby. Really, my ex was Ricky Bobby's dad, like that kind of like, oh look at me, I lead with my pelvis, I'm so sexy, but really trash, like that kind of bullshit. No accountability, not a great dad, all of that shit. So that, but very charismatic. Everybody love Reese, right? I can't take what she has. That is something she's got. It's some charisma, especially with a few drops of alcohol or drugs. So we laughed and laughed about that years ago as I was healing. She was like, "No more Ricky Bobby." It was just an easier thing because I love Talladega Nights, one of my favorite movies. But I was like, "Oh my god." She was Ricky Bobby's dad. So my bestie's always been like, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna be your bodyguard, which is so funny, guys. Because my bestie is like a skinny queen, and you guys know, you know, I'm a woman of size, okay? But she was like, I'm gonna be your bodyguard. But man, she's a giant in the spirit world. The more I know her, the more I love her, the more I value what she brings to me. And I know that I got an earth angel finally. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. So I have not had to see the creepy crawlies that freak me out because I told my angels once the spider bite happened on my forehead from that video I did a couple years ago that I had put to rest and put to bed my arachnophobia and all my issues. And so they said, no, we will not let spiders menace you anymore, but they still will be symbolic. So I have missed two spiders in 2 days that my bestie did happen to saw it. I just wanted to rhyme. My bestie saw it. She happened to see it. And she's protecting me in her own way. And that's the power of knowing that you did do your release. But when she gave me those wise words, I literally didn't go out there all like getting ready and doing stuff. And I was like, I'm going to go talk to my peeps about this because this may be very pertinent to someone. This is something that someone out here needs to know. Yes, I did all the banishments initially. Yes, I just walked you through all the stories. But what you need to know is that you might have to do it repeatedly because, yes, you might have dealt with it on your end and you're good, but they're not. Right now, whoever was in my life is not good. Whatever she thought she was getting, she didn't get. Whatever relationship she was selling me out for, like 30 shekels of silver, that Judas, didn't work out for her. And I'm still hanging like Jesus. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But I'm not going back. Not me and you, boo. Not never, never. What does Aki say on TikTok? Never, never, never. And he's talking about never forget the beverage. Your exes are still thirsty, okay? Aki is a TikToker who makes sandwiches at a bodega. And that confirmation from my angels with that buzz. Your exes are still thirsty. And what he does at the end of that video is he says, duh, never forget the bev. Or he says, don't forget the bev. And then he says, never, never, never. He's a Middle Eastern guy, so his accent's really cool. But what I will tell you is that some of your exes are still drooling over you. They still want you back. Now, I don't think that in any sense that my person in a cognitive function is like, I love her and I want Monady back. I think she misses my energy for sure. She's a selfish kind of bitch. I don't think at all that she has any empathy or that she feels sorry or that she takes any accountability or that she's ever going to admit that she's not a crazy sociopathic covert narcissist. No, that's not why she wants me back. I heard it though throughout the years. Remember, guys, I talked to you about Bruno Mars. I want you back. That song that was played on the Living TikTok as well. Music is how your exes will communicate with you. I knew that she missed me, and it was in a more forlorn way. Now her life's a shit show. show and she wants me to come in and fix it energetically, and I'm not doing it. I don't care if she thinks that she's kumbaya, my lord. She's depressed AF. My angels are very clear with me. They're like, it's a mess over there. Please steer clear, but know that she wants to be near. And it's so funny that because of my proximity to my current bestie, who's actually not insane, thank you, Jesus, and who knows God's name and actually has loyalty to me and actually cares about cultivating a relationship, she is doing exactly whatever God assigned her to do. I don't know what God told her about our friendship. I know that she's made a few mentions to me: bodyguard for you, protect you, love you, travel with you. Check, check, check. She doesn't renege. She has my back. We're in the trenches. So now, when I'm dealing with a potential spiritual attack, I'm not actually physically dealing with it. She's holding the spiders back. She's encountering them. I'm sorry, Bestie, when you listen to this, she's encountering them and she's protecting me. But I'm protecting me too. So I'm not going to leave it all up to her. I'm going to protect my bestie too because I don't like that energy around anybody I love. So when I get home and I'm around all my spiritual stuff, my crystals and my salts and all the rest, I'm going to be doing some protection prayers to protect my neck and to get this energy away. Sometimes you have to take a critter outside, and it's time to take some of your exes back outside. Yes, you thought you dealt with it, and you're fine. You really are. You guys hear me? This is a much different person you heard 2 years ago who was beside myself because grieving the loss of someone, whether they were horrible or not, still hurts. It's complicated. It's no longer complicated for me. I clearly see and understand what was happening and what wasn't happening and what was never going to happen. But what I will tell you is sometimes you have to backtrack again and deal with that. I will re disconnect. I will make it something that's powerful, even more so than the last. And maybe I'll make a video and talk about some of it. And if you are interested in understanding how to do that, you can just contact me. You can find me by email. There's a million ways to find me. Backtrack some of my videos. Yes, I know I don't put a lot of that stuff up now because I have been hermiting. So I'm ready to come out again. I'll start having all my information readily available for you. But I counsel people through this regularly. My regular clients I freelance for, my clients that I've cultivated over the years, and even some of you on YouTube I've worked with happily. So shout out to all of my clients on YouTube that I've worked with. It's been a delight and a pleasure. But this is something that I do. And I'm good at it, not because I'm just good at it, but because when you go through something, that's when you actually learn how to be good at a thing. I learned how to do spiritual warfare because of betrayal, not because it was just my life path. And maybe it was my life path, but my angels walked me through it. So that's what I wanted you guys to know. It is time to banish your exes again. Yes, that's why the face there, because it's such a bother. Oh, bother. Oh, Eeyore, you're such a bother. My ex was a Eeyore for sure. And I want nothing to do with her because she would have never, ever, ever helped me with ish. All right, y'all. In fact, she actually went out of her way to be damaging and mean and unkind and non communicative because that was fun for her. Funsies. Well, I have nothing to offer her but banishment and salties forever. That's how I feel about it. And prayer for Mowgli. I do love my Mowgli. I can't separate that. But I did, meaning I didn't look back. And thank God for a good bestie. Thou shalt not pass. You didn't let me reach back when my spirit wanted to because I knew he was about to come up on some troubling times. They said nope. They said we'll make sure in whatever regard that he's fine. But she needs to look at what she did. And unfortunately, the only time she looks and takes any level of accountability is through her kid. And you tried to warn her, and he tried to warn her. We tried to warn her mama tried to warn her, but she wouldn't listen. And as my mother says, he who won't hear will feel. And unfortunately, she's feeling now, and it's all too real. But that doesn't mean that she gets to scuttle out of underneath trucks and hide out in laundry baskets in the shape shifting form of her favorite form, which is a fucking spider, and scare me because she wants to have my energy. And she wants to let me know she's still here. She slipped in through music energetically. Now, I want to clarify this. Some of you might be thinking, do you think that she literally was thinking about Sade and was like, someone play Sade? No, but our energy has an interesting way of connecting. I literally don't think she had a passing thought other than she's focused on me, whether she wants revenge, whether she wants access to my energy. There is some level of focus that she has on me or things that are symbolic to both me and she would not be happening. from the spiders to the music. You transpose that onto your world, your lessons, and your symbology, but it is no different for you or me. We all have the same things where symbology is shared, and you can tell that energy is being sent out because they're trying to call you back in. This particularly happens with narcissists because they want to win. So she will never want me to be the person, like, or she would never want to be the person that well, yeah, she didn't want me to be the person that breaks up with her. Narcissist hates to be broken up with. That's like their fucking like kryptonite, right? But beyond that, they don't want to reach out. So exes truly will try to pull you back in, and you'll be like, well, I'm thinking about the mom's synchronicities. Fuck that, y'all. It is a tactic. And because we don't study the feminine sciences and metaphysical practices, we override it like, oh, well, it must mean something. It's my twin flame and I'm seeing the numbers. Listen, all that stuff is bananas. It's balderdash. It is just a tricky way that the energy is playing games to get you back so that you call them and all that stuff. Don't do it. Now, I knew that years ago, so that was never a temptation for me. I was like, you could say every song. And there was a time where our musical communication was high. High, 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 where she was sending things that were just whatever. And I promise you, too, on her side, as part of her karma message, pay attention, she got signs and synchronicities about me, too. She could have been sitting with her new racist boo and absolutely having a full flood of emotions about how I was in her life or a musical song that came on. That was karma for her. For me, it was a warning. You get it? They said you will think of her because you wanted to act like she didn't exist, to act crazy, act like you couldn't be held accountable. Cool. We're going to make sure that you never forget her. Amen. When you had her, you didn't want her, you didn't want to act right. And now she will haunt you energetically for the rest of your life. That's not what I want for her. That is what she engendered by behaving the way she did. It is her karma. Now, it is not my karma to be dealing with spiders. As you can see, they won't even reveal them to me anymore because they said you dealt with it head on, pun intended, middle of my forehead, 4 months, a scar for a year. Never forget it. The vision quest of my life. Anyway, guys, banish your exes. It's time. They do not deserve to cause you strife. They do not deserve entree back into your life, and some of them miss your energy. And that's a direct message and a little story time from me. Love you guys so much. Let's see if there's any questions. There is not. Thank you for the people that stopped in and for the likes. I love you guys. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.